So today we're going to look at appreciation and depreciation. So you might have come across terms like this before. Basically, I just like to think of appreciation as going up in value and depreciation as going down in value. Okay, now let's look at some examples to do with this. Houses tend to appreciate in value per year. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, going up, increasing, to appreciate. The value of a car depreciates. Okay, so as I said, putting that into context, that goes down, it decreases year on year. An example of this, the cost of buying a new house was £140,000. During the next 3 years, the value appreciated by 10%, 6% and 4.5%. So what you notice here is that year on year, the house is increasing by a new amount. You'll notice it's not the same value every year. It's not the same percentage every year. So we have to do this in 3 different steps because these 3 percentages are different. So looking at the first year, okay, the starting value you're told in the question is £140,000. You're also told in the question that it's appreciated in the first year by 10%. So 10% as a decimal, remember if you divide by 100, you'll get the decimal, is 0.1. If you were to multiply that by the original amount, which was £140,000, 10% of £140,000 is £14,000. Now, because this was appreciation, if you add that on, you'll get the new value of the house after 1 year. So after the first year, the value of the house is £154,000. Now in the second year, you're told that the house appreciated by 6%. So the new value, as we know, is £154,000. 6% as a decimal, okay, 6% divided by 100 will get you the decimal, which is 0.06. Multiply that by the value, which was 154,000, gives you £9,240. So in the second year, the house has increased in value by £9,240. And if we add that on to what the house was already worth, we get a value of £163,240. So after 2 years, this is the new value of the house. Now in the third year, the question told you that the house appreciated by 4.5%. So we've got one more calculation to do. So 4.5% as a decimal, remember 4.5 divided by 100 will get us 0.045. Multiply that by the amount. Okay, the new amount after year 2 was 163,240. When you multiply those two numbers together, you get a value of £7,345.80. Adding that on gives you the new value after the third year, which is £170,585.80. Okay, there is a shorter method. Okay, obviously you're becoming quite familiar now with how to use a multiplier. So you were told in year 1 that the house would increase, it would appreciate by 10%. So 100% plus 10% is 110%, and 110% divided by 100 will get you your decimal, which is 1.1. And if you multiply that by the original price of the house, you'll get straight to your answer of £154,000. So you'll notice there's not two steps here. We went straight to the value of the house at the end of year 1. At the end of year 2, you were told that it appreciated by 6%. So again, it's going to increase by 6%. So 100% plus 6% is 106%. Divide that by 100 gives you the decimal of 1.06. Multiplying it by the new value, because of course it had increased at the end of year 1, gives you that second value of £163,240. Then lastly, for the end of year 3, it was increasing, it was appreciating by 4.5%. Add that onto 100%, giving you 104.5%. Divide by 100, giving you your decimal of 1.045. Again, multiplying it by the end of year 2 value gives you your final answer of £170,585.80. So the shorter method is the more efficient method. It really is up to you though and what you feel more comfortable with doing. Example number 2, the number of bacteria present in a culture increases by 15% every hour. To begin with, there are 150 bacteria present. How many will there be after 3 hours? So you'll notice this example slightly different to the first one because every hour it's increasing by the same percentage. So we can do this just like our compound percentages. We can do this one a little quicker. So 100% plus the increase of 15% gives us 115%. Dividing it by 100, we get our multiplier of 1.15. Now that we have our multiplier, it was after 3 hours, so it's 1.15 to the power of 3. Multiply it by your original amount, which is 150. Your calculator, okay, is giving you 228.131, blah, blah, blah. But rounded to the nearest whole number is 228. Okay, you're talking about bacteria, okay, which is why this question has been rounded in context. Okay, there are 228 whole bacteria. Example number 3, a new car costs £18,000 in 2001. If its value depreciates by 12% every year in the last 2 years, what's its value at the beginning of 2003? So again, this is depreciating, it's going down in value by 12% for 2 years. So each year it's going 12% each year. Because it's decreasing, you'll subtract the 12% from 100, leaving you with 88%. Getting your percentage as a decimal, you need to divide by 100, leaving you with 0.88. Because it's for 2 years, remember you take your decimal multiplier, put it to the power of 2, and then multiply it by the original amount. Putting that straight into your calculator, you'll get an answer of £13,939.20. So what I'd like you to see here is that sometimes you can use the compound method, and you can use the power with your decimal multiplier. But as I have shown in example number 1, sometimes when you are appreciating and depreciating, it can be different percentages per year. And in that case, you cannot use your compound interest method. You will need to do each year separately.